You're still watching the Pulse on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Let's head to the Bonaf region, and specifically to Atebubu, where we're learning that some chieftaincy issues were one of the main reasons why the governing NDC could not win some seats in the region. We can hear from one of the executives of the NPP speaking to Precious Semevo, our correspondent, earlier today.
It is true that we've not been able to win Atebubu Amantin constituency seat as NPP. But this year, the miracle has happened. And I believe it is through hard work. Because I've sat at the back, as I would say, on the bench for a very long time. Actually, this wasn't my first election. I've gone to primaries and it was my third primaries. So Kofi Amuakwehene got well understanding of the constituency. I've been to every polling station, not one, not twice, many times. And I sat down and I did a lot of calculations that has worked for good today. So I believe that I strategized well and I applied them to my tactics. And this has brought this victory. In all, I'll say thank you to God Almighty, because all that I know spiritually is Christ. And indeed, He has shown mercy on me. Apart from that, I think we did a wonderful work. Very, very hard work. And lo and behold, I have been rewarded. Not just the personality, but I had an agenda for my people. I communicated it well to them. And I believe for the first time, people started hearing manifesto instead of promises and lies, propaganda, left, right, center. And it's a victory for Ghanaians, because Ghana is responding adequately to democracy. Now, my Atebubu Amantin constituency, what we need most is water, because water is life. Because you can pick an aspect of health in water, developmental programs, construction. There is nothing you could do without water. And it's a very huge problem for the area, which I'm part of it. So I am going to do everything possible to lobby my government for the long-term solution as well as the short-term solution. The little one, the bowl that we could even start with. So this is the number one thing that we need. Secondly, the place is a farming community. We need feeder rows so that the farmers can bring their produce to town at cost effective and make profit. So we are going to work that, because I'm a son of a farmer and I understand everything. Now, generally, look at the price of fertilizer. Look at the prices of farm inputs. They are so much expensive. At the end of the farming season, a farmer would have nothing to take home. And it's been a big problem for them. For that matter, they could not pay the escalated prices for school fees, and people remain distressed forever. These are the things that we are going to work at it and bring change, positive change to our people. So Kofi Amuakwehene stands for development. Kofi Amuakwehene understands development. Kofi Amuakwehene believes in the use of the people. Atebubu Amantin constituency, they are upbringing. I'm a businessman and entrepreneur, and I know how, if even the government doesn't have too much employment for the people, we need to set them up by talking to them, giving them direction, exposures, and at least small capital to start up their own employment, I would say, not even jobs on businesses, so that the people, the area collectively will rise up to the development that globally is acceptable.
Right, so let's now speak to Precious Semevo. He's our Brunei regional correspondent, for more on the story. Precious, good afternoon to you. How big a margin was Mr. Amuakwehene's victory in that particular constituency at Atebubu?
Francis, if you can come again.
I'm asking for the details of the results for Atebubu, how big the margin was of victory for Mr. Amuakwehene.
Well, the margin after the election, the NDC with Asanja Nanja had 18,078 as against the winner, Kofi Amuakwehene of the NPP, who had 19,200 18. So it's not quite a big margin, but if you compare it to the previous election, that is 2012, where Sanja Nanja had 16,964 as against the then NPP candidate, Atebubu, who put 11,413. So you appreciate the gap that they closed between 16,000 and 11,000 to the point where the NPP had to overtake the NDC, and they had 19,218 as against the NDC 18,078 votes. So the gap is not that big,
huge.
but I
okay, that's fine.
The background.
Precious, but tell me something. For those who may not know the peculiar story with Sanja Nanja, what is it that really hurt him in this election?
Well, Francis, it's all about an issue, a dispute between himself and then the traditional authority in traditional council in Atebubu. Now, it all started when the then DCE of Atebubu, Samson Owusu, was to be replaced by Eric Osei, and this appears not to have gone down well with some faction, with Sanja Nanja, the MP, and then the NDC candidate on one side, and then Owusu Boateng, who is an indigent, on the other side. And both supporters did not take things well. It degenerated into something else to the point where the NDC office had to be banned. The NDC office had to be banned in the process. And issues happened. The Queen Mother got involved. Sanja Nanja did also not take kindly to that. In an interview on an Accra-based private radio station, he accused the Queen Mother that she's drunk as a result of an alcohol given to him by the NDC also Boateng. Sanja Nanja had lots of issues with the traditional council. They banned him on 5 fronts, which include not to involve himself in any public, social events within the traditional council's jurisdiction. But the NDC will go on in September, to officially launch their campaign with Sanja Nanja as their candidate. This certainly drew the battle line between the indigents who were with the traditional council and then Sanja Nanja, who is a concomba with the other side. And it was always going to be difficult for Sanja Nanja to win this particular election. And from the result, it is clear that issue that they failed, the NDC failed to resolve the traditional council, and for that matter, the Atebubu Youth Association went a long way to hedge the electoral position.
All right, thank you, Precious, for that update. And interesting how the issues of trouble with the traditional authorities can cost you an election. Now, we will come up with policies that will help expand and transform the economy. And those are not my words. That's according to the Vice President of the incoming administration, Dr. Atebubu Amantin, the former Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, who will chair Ghana's economic management team of the new administration, says they will also build the most friendly environment for the growth of businesses. He has been speaking in an exclusive interview with Joy News.
A one-man show. We will work together as a team. We'll build on what has been left and try to correct the things that are not working, and just continue for the sake of Ghana to do something good for this country.
My last two questions. With you in charge of Ghana's economy, the economic management team, what kind of transformation are we going to realize in our economy?
Well, I think that you want to see the economy growing. Right now we are growing around 3%. We used to grow in the big days around 2011, 14% when the oil was coming, 8% coming down. So, but we are now at 3%. You need to increase the growth rate of the economy, and the way you are going to do it, of course, is to make sure the private sector is energized. And so we are going to see a transformation even in mindset, that you are going to build the most business-friendly and the most people-friendly economy that you can. Business-friendly and people-friendly, so that we encourage both local and foreign investment. We remove the obstacles so that they can do that. We'll bring down the tax burdens on people. We make sure that the health service is better managed, and people can actually get better quality access to healthcare, that the hospitals have basic supplies like gloves and oxygen and medicines and so on, that the constituencies, I want to make sure, that's Nana Akufo-Addo's goal, that we should have no village that has water problems in the next 2 years. We should try and realize it. And we believe, for example, that the $1 million per constituency each year, the equivalent, that's huge. That's 4 million Ghana cedis a year per constituency. If the constituencies, identify those needs and the executing agencies address them, we should not really have water problems. This one village, one dam promise, we should realize it so that we can get the agricultural sector moving. Because if you're going to transform this economy and you don't transform agriculture, then you have done nothing. And so you are going to see a major focus on agriculture so that we can begin the process of transformation. And then you will see an industrialization plank that we are going to try to see the private sector, push in the area of industrialization, where we are processing a lot more of our raw materials, whether in places that are planting watermelons or tomatoes or whatever. The mindset, that we should not just produce to sell raw. People should start thinking about processing, adding value, because then you get a lot. Farmers get a lot more for their produce in that type of value chain. So we want to see jobs being created. We really are focused on that. So we look at the business environment, the tax environment. As I said, we are going to move this economy from a focus on taxation that we have seen to a focus on production. Yeah, because it's only when you are producing that you create the jobs. And we want to anchor that with fiscal discipline, with financial discipline as well, so that you can stop this ballooning debt, which is resulting in high interest rates. Our businesses cannot be competitive with other countries if you have to pay over 30% for interest. I mean, how can you compete? So we've got to look at a lot of things, so that we can bring down the cost of doing business and get government out of trying to do everything. Governments are not the best at doing everything. Sometimes you just let the private sector do it, so you save the money to do something else. So we have many things that we are going to try to do, but we fundamentally want to manage the economy with prudence, have a sound framework to do it, and we expect to see transformation. As I said, there are many elements of it. Do your national ID card, which we expect to do the very first year. It will help us a lot in the context of transforming this economy and formalizing the informal sector and so on. So I'm excited. It's a daunting challenge that we have inherited, and we'll, I'm sure, talk a lot more about what we have inherited when we get into government. But I think when you look at it, it's a daunting challenge, but it's not one that I'm afraid of. It's one that I'm looking forward to addressing, to actually taking head on, because I believe that Nana Akufo-Addo, as our leader, he will give us the direction, and we are going to follow it and get it done for this country. So we pray with the help of God that we are going to do it.
And the youth voted massively.
Yes.
For this government.
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
Oh, the youth, they've won the election. If you look at, for me, they voted, they campaigned, they protected the ballot. I think they were very energized, and they bought, the message that we were giving them, that this economy was not being managed properly, that the unemployment was as a result of the very meager economic growth that we were seeing, that there was no need for the cancellation of the teacher and nursing training allowances, and so on. So the youth are very expectant. And so we are saying, that, work with us, and we will work to try to deliver on our, promises of job creation. We believe that we are going to do it. And so it is our economy. It is for all of us. And so the youth, the aged, and everybody, we need everybody's support to help us deliver. We are there at the forefront, but we still need the collective support of everybody so that we get to the promised land.
What's your favorite song?
Oh, Asem Pepper.
Asem what?
My favorite song at the moment is Asem Pepper Bienamati. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, okay, I'm not going to try to sing it. Otherwise, some people will have to leave here. Thank you very much.
5 seconds for the camera. You fold your arms. Yes. You gaze at these lights. 5 seconds, come 5, then you